Today, we are diving into one of the most powerful and, let's be honest, most debated promises in the entire world. We're talking about a security pact between 32 different countries that has literally shaped global politics for more than 75 years. So just think about this for a second. It is a massive, globe-spanning promise that has been the bedrock of international security for decades. And this very question, well, it's the entire foundation of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, better known as NATO.
Okay, so we hear the name NATO thrown around all the time in the news, right? But what exactly is it? Let's break it down. At its heart, it's basically a giant security team. And the name itself gives you a pretty big clue. North Atlantic. It's this unique, formal bridge connecting the continents of North America and Europe, all for one common purpose.
And when I say it's a big team, I mean it. We're talking about 32 member countries who have all agreed to be a part of this pact. That number alone really tells you how important this alliance has become since it first started.
Now, what's really interesting here is that it's a two-pronged mission. It's not just about military might, you know? NATO works on two fronts, the political front through things like diplomacy, and the military front, which acts as a massive deterrent.
But why? Why did the world even need an alliance like this in the first place? Well, to really get that, we have to rewind the clock a bit.
The key date for us is April 4th, 1949. The world was still living in the shadow of a truly devastating world war. And in that environment, a group of nations came together to sign the North Atlantic Treaty.
You have to picture what the world was like back then. The wounds of World War II were still fresh, and a brand new kind of tension was bubbling up, the Cold War. So NATO was really created as a direct response to that, a unified front to provide security against the Soviet Union's growing influence.
And this is a huge deal. It really shows you just how big a moment this was. For the United States, which had this long history of avoiding these kinds of foreign commitments, this was a massive shift in policy. It was a clear sign that the rules of the world had completely changed.
Okay, so we've got the who, the when, and the why. But let's get to the how. What is the one single idea that makes this entire 32-nation club actually work?
It all comes down to these two words, collective defense. And this isn't just some vague guideline. It is the absolute bedrock of the entire organization. And here it is, the most famous line in the whole treaty. This is Article 5. You could argue this is one of the most powerful promises in all of modern history. It means that if even one member gets attacked, all 31 others have to come to their rescue.
Yep, it's basically the Three Musketeers principle, but for geopolitics. An attack on, say, Poland is treated as an attack on the United States. An attack on Italy is an attack on Canada. It creates this incredible shield of mutual protection.
So you'd probably think that a promise this big, this world-altering, has been used a bunch of times, right? Nope. In its entire 75-plus-year history, that collective defense clause, Article 5, has only been triggered one single time.
Think about it. It wasn't used during all those tense decades of the Cold War. Instead, the first and only time it was ever invoked was by the United States, right after the 9/11 terrorist attacks. In that moment, all the NATO allies stood with America, proving this pact was a whole lot more than just words on a piece of paper.
So that's the core promise. That's the foundation. But beyond that one huge idea, what does NATO actually do on a day-to-day basis in the 21st century?
Well, its work today kind of boils down to these four main jobs. First up, security. Its main gig is still deterrence and defense. Then you've got political cooperation. It's basically a permanent place for leaders to talk about security issues, everything from cyber attacks to terrorism, and try to stop conflicts before they even start. Of course, there's military power, which is about being ready to manage a crisis if one breaks out. And finally, there's promoting values, which means helping to spread democratic ideas and security reform. Ultimately, this is what makes it so different. It's not just a political club, and it's not just a military pact. It's both. It's the one place where Europe and North America are at the same table every single day, trying to solve security problems together. And that, of course, brings us right up to today. The world we live in now is so different from the world of 1949. So the big final question to leave you with is this: how does an alliance that was created for the challenges of the past adapt and provide security for the challenges of the future? That's the puzzle it's trying to solve right now.